Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we are back out at Chester Canyon Transmissions to go over those RevMax upgrades that we discussed in the previous video. We're here doing some carnage, so let's go see what Andy and the crew's up to. Oh, hey.
Hey, it's about time you made it.
Look at all this RevMax stuff you got going on here.
You realize I've been waiting.
RevMax.
Like 2-3 weeks ago?
Yeah, right.
Long time coming.
Don't blame it on me.
Yeah, I'm not gonna blame it on you. I blame it on the fact that there's such an awesome following and some of these parts are so hard to come by. That's what I blame it on.
It's true.
So I've been waiting for this billet input shaft for almost 3 weeks now. You know, they go into production and they're only on the market for so long. Now, this being a RevMax product, there are other vendors, but RevMax does something unique with their input shaft. They have these oiling holes, which are for this drum here, the overdrive, underdrive drum. This lives inside here. So these oiling passages have been made bigger. Something special that RevMax does, but that means it takes extra longer to get. So, but we got our hands on one, which is awesome. It's not a cheap piece of equipment, but you know, we all know how quickly they break, even in stock applications, so it's important that we have one for this particular build that we're doing.
And this, guys, this right here, this is something I wish I would have did if I wasn't so rushed when we were doing our overhaul. So, very important. The stock input shafts break on those 68 RFE trucks.
But it is worth saying that, you know, he's doing smoky burnouts all the time.
Don't listen to him, guys. Don't listen to him.
No, he doesn't. Not that I know of, anyway. But in either case, there we have that. So that's going to be kind of fun. Let's talk about this drum. So this is, if you guys are familiar with this drum, this is the underdrive, overdrive drum, and it also has reverse clutches in it. And this is the part that we always see fail. What RevMax did, they did something different here, and we're giving this a shot, you know, so I've already talked to the customer about it. He understands this is kind of going to be a first go. After talking with Tom at RevMax for hours, he certainly instilled a lot of confidence in me and this product and all the R&D that went into it. So what they did that's a little bit different is they remachined this so they were able to fit more clutches in here. So at the end of the day, holding capacity is a byproduct of not only the pressure, but the surface area of the friction elements. We kind of talked about in the other application whether the frictions were single-sided or dual-sided. That's a way to achieve more friction surface. These are single-sided, but what they did was they went from 12 to 14 and 10 to 12. So in the end, when you add pressure to that, you have more holding capacity. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I mean, they've had fantastic success with it. I don't doubt them in any way, shape, or form, but this is a slightly different approach. The reason we explored this option is because this particular customer did a fantastic job of just completely nuking this, so it was not even reusable. No part of it was reusable. I think there's a video that you actually get to see that. So yeah. That's why we're exploring this route. And you know, like I said, I have all the faith in the world. So there's that. This is a new product that's come out from RevMax. They only just started producing these. As you can, this actually comes wrapped up like this. So you see, I decided to buy more than just one, so I have them in stock.
Yep, it's Beast is getting one of those.
Yeah, yep, one's for Steve. So this is the cooler bypass. So as you guys probably know, there's a valve in there. It's a thermal valve. It's designed to, you know, allow the transmission to warm up as quickly as possible, which is really important when you're dealing with colder temperatures. You know, if you're in Canada, Alaska, where it doesn't get that warm, you're already dealing with a diesel engine that doesn't create a lot of heat normally. So it's important for the transmission to get up to operating temp. Problem is, that valve can stick. And when the valve does open up, it never opens up fully anyway. So you have a restricted amount of flow, and you have a huge risk of blocking off flow to the cooler, hence, you know, destroying the transmission. So what RevMax did here is they created a block that goes in the stock location, and it just completely passes through. If you see, there's straight through out the other end. Hi guys. So cool component. It makes sense. You know, I don't see any issues using it in our climate. You know, anywhere as far as I'm concerned in the continental U.S. besides, well, I said continental, so that means not Alaska. All right, so we're not. I don't think it probably is a safe application in Alaska. But look, I don't have a ton of science, only a little bit of logic and put behind that. All right, so that's those. And lastly, this is the low reverse sprag. All right, again, another component that we know is highly problematic. It's 68 RFE. What RevMax decided to do differently here is they changed the design. Now, if we look kind of in these little holes, we can kind of get a better idea of what's happening in there. What you're seeing is a round roller and a spring, okay? So there's two different typical designs of sprags, or some people call them diodes. What a sprag basically is, if you've ever been on a pedal bike, that when you pedal backwards, the rear wheel locks up, so you can go one direction but not the other. That's what this does. This allows you to freewheel as you're, if say when you pull away and you get off the gas, you can just roll forward. It allows that to happen. But as soon as you get on the gas, it locks. Now that's a huge torque moment. So it's very important that this is a very strong component. The original design that Chrysler decided to employ is a Dogbone style. I'm going to try to show it. This is a Dogbone sprag. I'm going to push these elements up. You can kind of see how it's bigger at the top and kind of narrows in the middle. And when torque is applied to this, you see how it rolls one direction? See, it rolls that way? So this is free spinning. So this is free spinning, but as soon as torque is applied to it, it goes this direction, and it actually locks. So it'll lock the outer race to the inner race. All right, so that's how this works. What's been known to happen, though, however, under high torque applications, this actually rolls. It rolls completely over, and now you're hosed. You're done. Once that happens, it's just, you know, like I said, game over. So
dropping the tranny.
That's this design. This is the internal element of a spring and roller, and at least you guys can get to see the spring, the roller. This is the relaxed position. The way it works is when torque is applied, this ball rolls up a ramp, and when it rolls up the ramp, it's wedged between the inner and outer race. So we essentially have torque and full lock. As soon as you release it, it springs back like that. So now you're free to just roll on the outside edge. So that's how this works. It is a stronger design. It's not going to have the same rollover failures that this will have, and this is what RevMax implied, or designed when they did this sprag. So that's the kind of new stuff that we're going to try on this build from RevMax. So we're excited about it. It was great having the opportunity to talk to Tom. I mean, the whole crew down there, Tom, Fran, Josh, they've all been absolutely fantastic. I highly encourage anybody to use their products. They have pre-built transmissions that they sell. Seems like a really good company, and you know, they kind of started from scratch, and they're going places, which is cool. So give them a look, give them a call. They'll talk to you, which is awesome. So
making connections, the channel, you know, gaining all these contacts, all this information, all this knowledge from great people like Andy. I put Andy in contact with Tom, and just making all these connections. It's been a great experience thus far, and I really wish I would have done some of these mods. But hey, when we're ready to refresh the beast, this is going in. This is going in. This is going to go in before then. This is going to go in before then, because you can do that. I mean, at any time.
At any time.
Yeah, that's outside the transmission.
So
I'm excited to see Cody's truck when it's done. I'm going to try my best, guys, to get back here after it's done to get some, you know, reactions and his first impressions of the overhaul. Yeah. With all these awesome components for RevMax. I mean, this is top-notch quality stuff, guys.
I mean, you guys can easily go online and see, you know, what the cost is of all this stuff. I mean, there's, you know, better part of $1,000. I mean, there's you know, almost $2,000, $2,500 worth of parts here. So, you know, it's not cheap, but like we talked about, we're going to do it right, you know, and Cody's on board, and more power to him. You know, he's not skimping out.
No, guys, Cody is definitely not skimping out. Like, I didn't think I was skipping out, and I skipped out on a few things. He's going full bore.
Trust me, I'm not throwing Steve under the bus here. I mean, because we talked about all this. The time frame was short.
Yep.
We had parts that were coming in. We were already short on parts. You know, the billet flywheel was a little bit behind. So we didn't really have the time to do some of this. Plus, it was kind of part of the exploratory phase of things. You know, you want to try different applications, different combinations, and it is worth saying that so far, his sprag hasn't broken. His input shaft hasn't broken. So,
not
yet. But you can say not yet about anything because, Steve? I mean, everything does break eventually. And it is also important to know, guys, that no matter how many of these really fancy, expensive parts you put inside a transmission, the tune's the most important thing. And that's something Tom and I talked about. That if you don't have your tune right, it doesn't matter who builds it, how much money you spend on it, you're going to blow that sucker up. So you guys need to really make sure you're focusing on having a good tune, sourced from a good location. Make sure you're getting it dynoed and staying on top of it, because all this stuff can break. Everything we have here can break.
Even with a good tune, with all that horsepower and torque, you can have failures. So, and you're going to have to, I mean, after a time, you're going to have to do an overhaul anyway. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
Even with a built transmission. So,
all right.
It's just how many games you're going to play and how many smoky burnouts and, you know,
how many times you want to come visit Chester County Transmissions.
Off-road. But yeah, seriously, check. If you're local, this is your go-to shop, guys. Chester County Transmissions. We were talking before we started this video over the phone. Andy's going to start keeping some RevMax parts in stock here. Yeah. Stuff like this, the smaller stuff. Stuff's a little expensive, probably to keep an inventory, but maybe if we start getting
the more we start doing, I mean, it's important to have it on hand because again, this job was held up for 3 weeks because of it. Luckily, Cody's super awesome, totally on board. You know, I even said to him, I said, Cody, I mean, if you don't want to do the input shaft, we can, but he was having no parts of it. So it's awesome to have a great customer like that because I've had plenty that would be completely on the other side of those tracks. So
and see, Andy, I may not be rushed the next time either because I might have. We'll save that for another video. Oh, I might have extra transportation in the future. So Pete the Builder just brought the drum in, and as you can see, it's smoked. We showed that to you in a previous video.
There's this oiling port here.
Oh yeah.
I bet you that's really what they changed. There's not even one there.
Hey, here's the stock input shaft. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Hope you found it informative. And make sure you check out Chester County Transmissions on Facebook. If you're stopped by the first time, make sure you smash tab, do some of that subscribe button. We love you guys. We'll see you in the next upload.